Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. It's a beautiful day outside today. Just want to again thank everybody for tuning in to the channel www.rebuildingcommunitytrust.org on YouTube, also Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. Don't forget to check out your Inspirational Quote Wednesdays. A little late this week, but it's still posted. It's on SoundCloud. We're going to eventually move over to Spotify and other venues. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit the bell to get new notifications and new material that comes out. Please review the old material for those who are new. Welcome to the page. This site is dedicated to community matters and the things thereof in our communities, and police matters. What's going on currently. So please check out the material. Today is Stand Your Ground Law. So I know everybody's been waiting. I know everybody's excited to get on this topic. I've been talking about it for quite a while. This law has been out since 2005. It started in Florida. The landmark case with the George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin case. I'm not sure everybody heard of it. This is where it all started. So I put on my page a couple of different links for Stand Your Ground. There's some certain things that's been happening. Some of the laws is going to get revised depending on which state it's in. But there's a lot of coverage on it lately. Just want to kind of break down the Stand Your Ground law. I want to get kind of the basics. I want people to kind of understand what it is, because it's very touchy, thin line when it comes to deadly force and self-defense. One of the landmark cases in the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman case was that he claimed self-defense, and he was charged with manslaughter and second-degree murder. He actually acquitted it, got beat. One of the things that we got to look at with Stand Your Ground is the difference of many factors. You got, size, you got height, you got weight, you got time of day, you got, a lot of different factors that plays in self-defense and Stand Your Ground. Deadly force is a touchy topic with not only just civilian, but also law enforcement officials. When you use deadly force, that means to stop or stop the threat. Using seriously harmful tactics. You can, center mass. Why would police start to shoot in the center mass? But when it comes to deadly force, it's exactly what it sounds. So when you make a call as a civilian to use your Stand Your Ground, you got to make sure a lot of stuff is in place. And sometimes with a lot of stuff that happens, quick thinking, you don't think about, okay, was it really me authorized to use deadly force? So just kind of touch some stuff. If you want to take some notes. You got any comments, leave in the comments below. Please do so. If you got any extra things you want to talk about, please leave in the comments below. I'm open to suggestions, open to anything critique. So please leave anything there that you want to leave. Basically, Stand Your Ground. I got it from a Fine Law website. I'm going to post on the page. Basically, it's saying so many words. Their basic definition is to not retreat from any situation before resorting to deadly force, not limited to your home, place of work, or even place of worship. Basically, a person fears for their life. It is justified to use deadly force to stop the threat. That doesn't mean go and shoot and kill them 30, 40 times, but just to stop the threat. One of the things in the George Zimmerman case was when they analyzed the Stand Your Ground law and for him to claim self-defense, it was basically, again, George Zimmerman, Trayvon certain size, George Zimmerman certain size. Trayvon was putting the work on George Zimmerman, and he felt he needed to use self-defense. A lot of other factors that played into why the case was drug out and why it was such a landmark case, because he actually followed Trayvon. He actually tried to, be a use police powers or try to, carry his weapon on him. There's a lot of other factors that made this case so big, but basically Stand Your Ground is that person felt threatened enough to where their life was in danger. It also requires self-defense to Stand Your Ground. So when we classify these things, you got to think about it. You got a 6'5", 6'2", 6'1", 260, and you have a 110-pound woman soaking wet, probably 5'8", 5'5", and in that case, he tries, say, just for example, he tries to rob that woman, and she pulls out a gun and shoots and kills him, and she felt like her life was threatened because of the size. That possibly could result in a Stand Your Ground self-defense, but it may be turned around to where maybe that one that 6'2" guy was attacked by 5'10", and 5'10" was, beating him up really bad, or whatever the case may be. It may not always qualify for Stand Your Ground. They look at size, they look at, where they're at, look at the skill, the tactic of that person that's doing the damage. whether they're trained or not. There's a lot of stuff to look at. So you got to really be mindful of self-defense and deadly force. You have the Castle Doctrine law, self-defense law. You have the duty of retreat, and then the stand your ground. Castle Doctrine was where it was founded. Stand your ground law was founded on this Castle Doctrine. That's basically saying that you have the right to use self-defense in your homes, within your jobs, and also your vehicles. So the Castle Doctrine was a law that's a little older back in the day, and it was basically to protect the home and the property thereof and people in it. So that was kind of where stand your ground was kind of categorized on top of that. Duty retreat was basically you don't have the right to retreat unless you absolutely need to not do it. If someone is attacking you and you can't get away and you have to stand your ground, or you have to stand and use self-defense, then that's where that duty retreat law, self-defense law comes into play. There's only the three types. And then the stand your ground, which was founded in 2005, where you can basically, if necessary, use deadly force authorized if you feel like your life is in danger. This also implies, I did a little digging because I always ask, what's the question? What happens if does it apply to just the person, or does it apply to anyone around them? So again, we think about when someone else is getting attacked. Can that stand your ground law apply to them? If say they feel like the other person is getting attacked and their life is in danger, will that person that comes to the rescue, that Samaritan, would they be able to apply that law? Say they have to use deadly force on that person that's attacking the other person. So it does apply. So that was one of the questions I had when I was doing the research on the topic was, does it apply for others? If a child's getting abused, or a child's getting something happening to that child, or an elderly woman, or someone who can't defend themselves, it does apply if someone steps in and feel like they need to use deadly force to stop killing the person they're attacking. 25 states are incorporating this law. I can post them on the page if you want to check it out, see what the states they are. A lot of the southern states are mainly involved, but there's some other ones, Midwest and North and stuff like that. But I'll post the name of the states that are incorporated with Stand Your Ground. So if you're in these states, make sure you read on your laws, because one thing with Stand Your Ground is different for everywhere you go. It's not Florida has their way, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, wherever these places, some of these 25 states that I just named, each state is different. So you have to be mindful what laws they are. Deadly force is a sensitive topic. It's already hard for law enforcement to even claim deadly force nowadays. There's so many shootings with the police, and this is one of the reasons why we got to look at what deadly force is. We have to study it. I may put a deadly force continuum onto my page so people can understand it and see it in a chart form. But people really need to understand that, because when you put in a situation, you're not going to really think about it. If you feel like your life is in danger, you're going to do what you got to do to survive. If you have a weapon, you pull it and shoot it, or you stab, or whatever the case may be, you're not going to really be thinking about it at that single second. So that'll get people to understand what it means to use deadly force. So again, to stop the threat, not to kill the threat, shoot the threat 30 times with a gun, stab him 30 times. You got to stop the threat. That's what pretty much law enforcement goes by. Use enough force to stop the threat. So real basic topic, stand your ground. Like I said, a lot of my casework is going to be put on the page so you can kind of review it. Not going to make this video very long. Again, just think about the recap. This is the Castle Doctrine. It was the foundation for the stand your ground. You got your duty to retreat, and then of course the stand your ground, which is current as of now. So definitely, review these things and put them on the page so you can review them. Check the stuff out. Share it with your people. Share it with your communities, because you never know when it happens to you. You never know when you're in a situation where you feel like deadly force is going to be used. And again, it's a fine line. You can go review the George Zimmerman Trayvon case. It's a very landmark case. It's just a real big case, because that's the first time that stand your ground was ever used. And there's a lot of key points, a lot of things had to be looked at in order for George Zimmerman to be able to walk free, whether it's political, whether it's actually truth. A lot of people probably disagree with what happened to Trayvon, saying he felt like his death was unjustified. Not really going to get into the politics of it. I mean, we all know how we felt about the case, and how George Zimmerman probably shouldn't have chased him down and should have probably left things alone. That in this case is wrong, but we look at what stand your ground really means and what it stands for. It can apply to anybody or anything. So check it out, share it. Real updates on the gun laws. I was talking about mental health and gun laws. Had a situation where an individual was talking to me about one of her relationships, and she's not didn't have really the mental she admitted that she shouldn't have a weapon. So when I go back to the mental health piece of my last video, how weapons should not be owned by certain people that know they're mentally ill, this is one of the things that I touched on, and that if you don't have the mental stability to hold a weapon, you shouldn't have one. Because if you have a mental illness and you use a weapon, you're not thinking consciously what you're doing, you're going to end up overdoing it, and you end up doing something you regret later. So that's kind of one of the things with mental health. Please review the video. This month is Suicide Prevention Month. I just finished some training on that for the suicide prevention. It's really a big thing, especially in our armed forces and just in general. Life gets too hard for people out here, and they don't feel like they can go on, and they commit suicide. If you know someone, you know what I'm saying, and try to be there for them to get them to make sure that their life is more valuable than just whatever's going on in their lives. Anything that is going on in our lives can be beat, you can overcome. So taking lives and suicide is really high, and especially during the holiday times, just in general, we got to be there for the people that we care about. Suicide Prevention Month in the month of September. Definitely please look at the hotlines, use it. If somebody that you know that's going through it, give them the hotline number so they can call, we can get them some help. Also, I'm going to post too, Texas, they updated the gun laws for their state. And it's interesting because a lot of stuff that they're doing now where you can carry in schools and churches and other places that normally you wouldn't carry, the governor has kind of put a real big push on gun laws and being able to carry. One of the interesting things for 2020 election, we got to get in here and vote, because a lot of the Democratic Party, a lot of the liberals and conservatives, they're talking about gun control, getting on Trump about gun control. It's a big deal, you know what I'm saying, because it touches, like, again, I talked before, it touches on our Second Amendment rights, but also it's on a touch on keeping those that don't have knee guns out of their hands and being able to prevent a lot of these mass shootings. But it's going to take more. It's going to take more people stepping up. But everybody has their opinions and viewpoints on carrying weapons. But this is something that's been big in the White House and the Capitol. A lot of talk about it up here. And we got to really look at what our Democratic Party and Republican Party, conservatives and third party independent parties also all going to think about as far as our weapons and concerning gun laws and being able to carry. And pretty much from there, upcoming videos, I'm working on juvenile justice. Check out the blog. I put a blog on there on my page with juvenile justice and talking about how juveniles may lose their rights to be, as juveniles, to be tried as adults depending on what crimes they're committed. Please check the blog out and get some insight. Kind of setting the precursor for the next videos coming up. That's the next video is juvenile justice, dealing with those who's going to be tried as adults, dealing with different programs and deal with that type of stuff. Because again, our youth is, I always say it, I'm going to continue to say it, our youth is important. We got to be able to educate our youth on what's going on, know what's currently going on as far as our laws going on for our programs. A lot of the state funding is being cut for juvenile justice programs. We got to be able to be aware of what's going on in our communities. Again, working on the podcast, coming up with a friend of mine. I'm still going to work on that. We got some interesting material. We're going to talk about domestic violence, relationships. We're going to kind of delve into some stuff that's affecting our communities. It's not only affecting ourselves worldwide, but also affecting us personally. That we're dealing with, whether we talk to it ourselves or we're dealing with through people we know. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, relationships lately. People coming to me talking about relationships and stuff that are going on that kind of is leading toward what we're talking about. And I kind of really, my heart's going to that direction to where let's link the two together and be able to educate people and give people some knowledge on what's going on as far as dealing with domestic violence, dealing with sexual assault. Got some schools coming up where I'm going to learn a lot about sexual assault, get certified, and I'm definitely going to be talking about it because it's also a real big topic with the Me Too movement and other stuff that's going on. So I want to kind of link the two together with sexual assault, crime, and mental health and all this stuff. So please stay tuned. Again, Inspirational Quote Wednesdays. Don't forget about that. That's stuff to encourage you, to get people encouraged. You know what I'm saying? Times are hard. We use our scriptures. We use our spiritual guidance to get us to where we need to go. Definitely there for you to encourage those who's in need. Also, got some volunteer videos I'm putting up, getting out in the community, dealing with the homeless. Hopefully get more involved, doing stuff with mentorship with kids. I'm trying to get more into the communities while I'm here, and I'll be posting stuff. And I want people to kind of see what's going on in our communities and see what we're doing. and hopefully empower you to do the same. Also, the Nicole conference coming up September 22nd to 26th, Law Enforcement Consortium. Definitely get involved in that. If you can make it to Detroit and go to that, there's a lot of big heavy hitters there with law enforcement and dealing with what's going on in our communities as a whole. This is nationwide. This is all the chiefs of police, all the law enforcement power guys coming up there, and they're going to be talking about different issues in each city, state, and our community. If I can get any video footage or any type of notes or clips, I will post them on the page so people can see, because this is what impacts our communities. This is going to lead us down to our citizen review boards. What they bring back from the conference, they bring back to the communities, then they bring back to the people so we can make change. So if I can get anything from that, one of these days I will be attending. I will be making my way up there. Whenever they have the next one, I'm going to try to make it to the next one to where I can actually be live and go there and get some stuff. Again, if you got any comments, please post them. Any questions, comments, concerns, please post in the comments below. Stay tuned, and thank you for your time.